is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing a whole lot better than the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League team is doing right now. Bro, all right, let's just before we get into that, once again, like last week we had Vicky on for the BIPOC Stream Awards. Don't forget to go by that website if you haven't had a chance to nominate your people you want to nominate. The link is in the description, so don't forget to go by that website and nominate your favorite streamer for the BIPOC Streamer Awards. I'm going to try to have Vicky and her crew on next week, just because the voting is supposed to end March 31st. So keep that in mind. So just keep that in mind. All right. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is delayed indefinitely. Some outlets are saying reporting this only till 2024, but that game was supposed to come out in May.
Yeah.
And apparently this is just the rumored thought. So allegedly, what's happening is apparently they didn't like the feedback they got from the PlayStation Direct, which did they have to, they had to see that coming, man. They ain't got nobody in that office that games.
But this is Rocksteady, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't their first go around.
This ain't their first rodeo, but if they acting surprised, something ain't right.
Yeah, because it was almost like, I don't know, because it's not like we haven't had a superhero or supervillain game that crashed. There's games for service. I mean, we've all seen it go down the tank. I think maybe, just maybe, they may have thought that, hey, we're going to get a better reception because Gotham Knights didn't pull off the 4-player aspect, and we did. And we're also able to do it within 60 frames per second. So maybe that's why people didn't like Gotham Knights. So this is why they're going to love us. But I'm like, nah, Gotham Knights had multiple issues as to why people didn't like it. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, first of all, like the whole situation, my problem with Gotham Knights was, one, the reveal was too early. They promised a lot of stuff, and then they had to backtrack on all their promises.
Correct.
That was my main issue, because I have not played Gotham Knights, and I don't think I will, just because I don't like, dude, stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Stop putting the trailer out 4 years ahead of time, telling people you're gonna do all this stuff, and then you haven't even got that stuff to work. And then 2 years later, we had to delay it. Well, why had to delay it? Trying to smooth out some issues. This stuff just doesn't work. So, I mean, I'm of the idea, like, look, do not put a trailer out until you already got your window set. Right. In my opinion, like, to me, a trailer shouldn't be going out until you're at least 50% done with your damn game. You shouldn't not know what your game is, but you just got a trailer just to go. Like every while. Yeah, every while. Like, you have a trailer, y'all put the trailer together, but you had no idea what the game was. Like, how does that work? In just thinking logically.
Right.
Like, and if you don't have an idea what the game is, you do not turn around and do a developer direct and talk to them.
Right.
You talk to somebody. You do it with one of your games that's almost done. You talk to the Forza team. Don't talk to them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this whole concept of let me get it out there sooner, so that way people are already aware of it. I don't know what the purpose is. Especially when you look at some of these games, they're not even exclusive, so that doesn't even benefit.
Yeah.
But then when you look at something like Gotham Knights, and then also this game here, is getting to become an issue, because it's almost like, okay, we have this big idea. By the time we get it out, it's already dead in the water, because it's not as cool as it was when you first started up. Yeah. And then what makes it even worse is, like, okay, now you find yourself possibly having to push it back. And this is, I mean, they never said it was technical difficulties. It just said because of the reception and the feedback.
Yeah.
So this isn't their first time showing this game. So what did you get before?
That's what I'm saying. Like this is what the third time showing the game. Was that direct? Was the third time? Because the first time was what?
But
Yeah, because the first time was what 2020 or 2019. I think was the first time.
same time they showed Gotham Knights, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that wasn't the first time they showed it. So, and I think the main thing that makes me upset is the Wolverine trailer. Like they showed that 45 seconds, but then they had to come right back and say, "Oh well, the team is working on Spider-Man. They're gonna work on Wolverine next." Then why did you have a trailer?
Right.
Why?
Yep. So now it's like we haven't seen squat about Spider-Man 2, and that's supposed to come out this year.
Supposed to, and then like Wolverine, there's no way in the world they're going to get it done before 2025.
No.
And they showed they gave in 2021 or 2022.
2021, yeah.
Yeah, 4 years. They shouldn't have showed it.
But I have a feel something like, to me, I feel like there's always a reason why they do this. Like something has to make them do it, and part of me feels like is okay. We gotta get some type of interest drummed up when we go to these the stockholders and the investors. Like, okay, cool. This is our budget, right? Let's put this trailer out there, and then the response from that trailer will let you know and justify why we need this type of budget. I'm starting to think that's why they're doing it.
Okay.
Because this Wolverine budget probably gonna be nuts.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because unless Marvel's gonna be like, okay, we'll give you this percentage.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be nuts. And then, but the thing is, with this possibly being exclusive, it's gonna have to show out.
Yeah, and to be fair, I love the X-Men. I am a Wolverine fan. I'm just worried.
I am too.
I'm worried, especially when they start talking like exclusive.
Yeah,
I get kind of worried because I'm like, you need the game to make money, so it would serve you better to put the game out on as many platforms as possible. Exactly. A character like that, because like once again, this ain't a Mario situation. This ain't a Halo situation. This ain't a Kratos situation where they've already built up this character for years.
Right.
Like what the last Wolverine game we got was what? The one for the Origins movie, and that was PS2, PS3, 360.
Yeah, I'm about to say the last time we got anything was 7th gen for sure.
Yeah, for a solo Wolverine movie. So I'm like,
jeez.
And that was on everything. That wasn't on one system. So I mean, yeah, you got X-Men fans, but I don't think it's like that.
It's not. I mean, even with the X-Men fans, Wolverine, I would say, is up there out of the popular ones. But when was the last time we had a showcase for X-Men?
We really didn't, because Ultimate Alliance was Avengers, X-Men, everybody else.
Right.
It's really just been, especially the last 15 plus years, been hella Avengers and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what it's been.
So at this point, you're thinking, hey, this game is going to get any type of traction. You have no movie, you have no show, you have nothing. Because when it comes down to getting it to sell, you can't sell it directly to just straight gamers. Like you gotta get the casual crowd too. And I don't know too many people that'll go off the top of their head and say, "Oh yeah, Wolverine's my guy." Yeah, you know, I know people that pick Deadpool over Wolverine.
Yeah, they will, because they know Deadpool will be funny. You know that Deadpool will be hilarious. Like Wolverine is like Wolverine serious. He don't play like that. Like Deadpool does. So you can have fun because like that Deadpool game that I think it was High Moon did. Yeah. That's a fun game because they do all the weird stuff that you should do in a Deadpool game.
Right.
And people understand and expect that. Wolverine is a little more serious character. Like it's like having a Punisher game. You don't expect a Punisher game to be, tongue in cheek. You expect it to be serious.
Right. But I mean, what would it even be based off of though? Like, because I don't know. That's where I'm kind of at odds with the game because the foundation of it is nothing. It's
Nothing.
like I get it. Yeah, you kind of did it with Spider-Man in a way, but it wasn't like Spider-Man had been dead.
Yeah,
Spider-Man had
Spider-Man
been
is
still movies.
Spider-Man is one of those characters up on, like, as far as like comic books are concerned, he's like up there with Superman, and as far as
Right.
popularity is concerned.
Hmm.
So you can get away with that with Spider-Man. Wolverine, I don't know if you can or not. And then on top of that, it's already pushed back to a situation in which it's pushed years out. So
Correct.
that's one of the issues I see going forward with this type of situation. Now, look, do I do I want Suicide Squad game to fail? No, I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm
Mm-mm.
just saying this ain't a good look.
It's
Period.
not. It really isn't. And then when you think about games like Suicide Squad, it's kind of similar to Teen Titans. There is no set roster.
Yeah.
It just seems to be like, hey, here's a group of individuals that may or may not team up, and and then we just kind of do whatever with it. But outside of that first movie, the second one was funny. But outside of that first movie, once the second one came on, you're like, who the hell are all these people?
Yeah.
And like, okay, cool, that introduced them. But then now you talk about when that movie came out compared to when this game is coming out. It's like
3 years.
you missed your opportunity. You missed your window to even remotely get somebody interested in the Suicide Squad. But I don't even think the movie did numbers like that for you to even warrant a video game.
Well, the other thing too is you're hoping that the comic book crowd comes in,
Mm,
and I don't know if I don't know if that works. That's what I'm saying. That's why I be saying, like, when I be talking about these game budgets being ridiculous, I'm like, dude, movies, you can't compare movies and games together, because the movie fans are way more than gaming is still niche.
right.
It's not. I mean, dude, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Nintendo only sold 100 and what 15 million units. Switch.
Yeah. Really think about that.
I think about that. Like, there's more people in the U.S. than Switches sold.
Yeah.
There's more people in the U.S. than PS2 and PS3 sold.
Wow.
I'm just saying, that's just the U.S. and we're talking about the world. There's more movie fans than that. So you're trying to get that
Right.
movie fan money, and you're trying to make these games this $100 million and up. Like, you're
Hmm.
not gonna. And games are supposed to be, or used to be, evergreen. Now people
Right.
trying to brag about, oh yeah, we sold this much in 2 weeks. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
didn't sell nothing the rest of the year.
You came quick.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
it. Like, you're not still pushing out them numbers like that. So what's
Mm-mm.
up, Andre?
Perfect dark NSO. May
Bo- bottle
23rd.
rocket, bottle rocket game development. That's what we should call
Bottle Rocket
Pretty
game.
much. I
Yeah,
mean, at this point, I don't know. Like this game, even if it was good, it wasn't gonna have legs.
it.
Like people
No,
were gonna copy it the moment it went on a heavy sale. The same reason why I got Gotham. Like I got Gotham for $20.
yeah,
Like I picked that up, and then when I start playing it, I start seeing what everybody was talking about. Like, yeah, they fixed some stuff, but really, that game in itself, 30 really didn't do it justice at all. Like that game runs sluggish. Like is yeah, I'm not even one of those that's like 30, 60 this, but when you talk about like an action game, yeah, you see a night and day difference with this. So it makes it almost unpleasant to play. So it's not even like it's a bad game. It's just unpleasant to play. But I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't. It's not like I was looking forward to Suicide Squad by any means. It's just, I mean, it seemed like it was geared more towards multiplayer, which you'll get that crowd. But then you're gonna always have the crowd that's like, okay, well, what about single player? I don't know a game yet that has had a smart AI system. So you already know that's gonna be a problem in
yeah,
itself with AI being the other three characters.
yeah.
I don't know. And everybody got guns. Everybody doing super jumps. Everybody like
All
is
over
this
the place.
Crackdown?
Yeah,
It's Crackdown. Like
yeah,
that's it. That's
it is
it.
Crackdown. It's Crackdown, and it's Crackdown with characters that are not supposed to be able to do the things they're doing.
Exactly.
yeah. So, Andre, your thoughts on the delay?
Well, I could have said that it was going to happen, but I mean, Chances are they oversold, and what they showed everybody did not meet the expectations that they set.
Right.
Simple as that. People were expecting an actual game where they could get into being the characters from the Suicide Squad, not Crackdown with DC Comics characters.
Yep.
And on
Well,
top of that, they didn't do a good job of even promoting the idea of it being a legitimate multiplayer game. On top of that, it's
Right.
just okay. We're just going to slap it together. Then we're going to tell you at a later date that this has to always be online, and basically say, hey, there's no real single player.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. It was kind of DOA outside of the diehard fans, and honestly, I don't ever hear anybody say, "Yo, Suicide Squad is my shit." I
Yeah.
never,
No,
never hear that.
no, because a lot of people were saying like, well, they made the Arkham Asylum game. Batman is different.
Batman's way different.
Batman is way different.
Yeah, Batman is way different. You can't compare the two. Um, I
The thing is though, the villains that they picked for the Suicide Squad game, if they made them operate like Batman does, it would actually work.
yeah, especially Deadshot.
Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Boomerang, they're all low level villains. Well, Deadshot is an assassin, but they're still like physically low level.
Yeah,
Why are they doing super jumps like they got the Hulk's legs?
like yeah, King
Right.
Shark can do that, but that's because King Shark is not normal.
He's not human. He's a
Yeah,
mutant.
yeah,
I mean, as far as what DC considers a mutant. So
yeah. Essentially,
it makes sense that he would have an ability like that. If they were going to do that, they should have made the characters play like their actual strengths and
Exactly.
abilities.
All out of character at this point. Yeah.
yeah. Do you think it would have been better if they just would have went like with another single player game, like maybe just make it a Harley game, or just make it a
Yeah.
Deadshot game or something like
Yeah.
that? That probably would have been better
Well,
for them to do.
not there's not a whole lot of Deadshot fans, but if they were to focus on doing a story driven Harley Quinn action game, yeah, they've been fine.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. But I mean like because yeah, because the only way I think you could probably make a Suicide Squad game or a team based game like this work is I'm guessing maybe the Ultimate Alliance way of doing it.
Yeah, something like that. That's about the only way it makes sense.
Yeah, because then you don't have to worry about that. You can just focus on the individual characters, their real abilities, and then just do it around the game. That's probably the best way. And okay, hey, it's RJ says that apparently they was going to make a Superman game. Oh Lord.
Oh, I saw that. So people's speculation on that was the lawyers just typed in Superman when it should have been Spider Man because they were talking about the franchises that Sony has.
Uh huh.
So they were like, they have games like God of War, and then it says Superman, but everybody's like Superman. Like we know they have Spider Man, but when the hell
Yeah.
does Superman come into play? So I mean, there still might be a possibility, but I think people are under the consensus like they made a typo and them being lawyers and not knowing what the hell talking
The
about.
games they're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Superman, man. Everybody remember that Superman game from the what was it, the fifth gen?
that's what we calling it, a game. I'm gonna give them tech demo. All
It
right,
was it was sold.
I'm gonna give them a tech demo because that game was awful.
Yeah.
I can't believe they even released that.
But
That
that's the
that was
thing, like it's hard to do Superman because Superman, in all honesty, is the most broken character in all of fiction.
yeah. You have to Samus him. You have to
Yeah,
do the whole Metroid thing.
yeah, and people ain't gonna want to do that
Nah. Mm.
because if you do Superman right, he's OP the whole game.
Yep.
He should not have any issues the whole game, and your final villain will have to be Darkseid. There's no
Hey,
other way around it.
Sega said they made it work with Sonic and these racing games. Look, Sonic's supposed to be the fastest thing out here, but yeah, we got everything keeping up with him.
Yeah,
Mm.
and we put him in the car.
Right.
Okay. Why is him and Shadow in the car? All right, whatever. But
they gonna find a way to dumb it down.
yeah,
But like you
you
said,
kind of have to.
you have
kind of
to.
have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, you kind of have to. So
I think you'd be better off with an Invincible game than you will a Superman game.
True, because that character ain't broken.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why people like Goku a little bit more than Superman sometimes, because Goku actually has to. You actually see Goku having to work.
Right.
You have to train. He can't just like go in and just all powerful. Nah, Jiren beat the brakes off him.
Multiple times.
So, like Frieza was stomping him out till he messed around and killed Krillin.
Right.
Like Cell, him and Cell was even. Like, dude, he hadn't been like he don't just run through people. So
right.
It's you're able to like have a okay, yeah. It ain't guaranteed that Goku's gonna beat everybody because he don't.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're gonna introduce somebody or something that's gonna slow him down. Because even with the Android situation, you think like, okay, Goku's already strong and he got 3 years heads up, but then it's like, oh, but
he
got
a
heart problem. Yeah, like all right, cool. So
because he was beating the brakes off him at first.
At first,
yeah.
Like, I hate that I ever start watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged because now I can't remember the original because of them. Like,
That's
geez.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Abridged. If you haven't had a chance to, people, just you'll enjoy it.
Still funny to this day.
Them and Devil Artemis. That dude's funny with that whole Cell thing.
Oh yeah.
So let's get to the second topic, and I wish Sandstorm was here for this one because the whole Forspoken thing. My question to you guys is so the team got disbanded and absorbed into Square Enix because supposedly it flopped.
Right.
I don't think it's been out long enough to say it's flopped because once again, it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
Games are evergreen or should be evergreen. They shouldn't be we're trying to make all the money in a month. They shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be looked at like that. So the question is that I want to pose is A, was it really that bad? And B, should the game have not had timed exclusivity? Should it have been out on multiple places at first?
For the little bit I played, the game's not bad. I just think it got a bad rap up front. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot going on in the game though, because that was the one thing I was asking Sandstorm. Because you have like your level chart, then you have the different clothes she can wear, then you also got the different nails that she can do to change abilities. Then you got different buttons that you hold for different powers and swap them out. Like it's way too much crap going on in that game. Yeah. Not to mention how they introduce everything. It really like they did a piss poor job at that. But when it comes down to that type of game, I feel like it should have been a little bit more linear than open world because you're just kind of running and parkouring over a whole bunch of stuff, and sometimes you know what you're doing, sometimes you don't. But then again, like I said, this is for a little bit of what I played. Sandstorm says, a couple hours in, you're straight. But when it comes down to the merger and them putting this type of budget into the game, I don't think you should ever put this type of budget into a first time IP. Like that's nuts.
Never.
Yeah, because it's allegedly it cost them $100 million to make. I'm like, what? Oh. But I can't not believe it because Darksiders THQ spent was it $55 million on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if you want to throw some money away, send it my way.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, man, come on. But the other thing too is the timed exclusivity. See, because I thought it was a PS5 exclusive. Apparently,
everybody
it never was. Yeah, apparently
that's how it was promoted.
Yeah,
that's how they always promote.
I'm like, that's another thing that hurt them because who knows? Maybe please don't crucify me for this, but maybe the Xbox crowd might love it. And they might, I said, don't crucify me for this. They might love it. And they might pick it up. You never know. But if you wait.
They might have.
Yeah, but if you wait a year and a half, if you wait a year and a half, they're going to be like, oh, well, it sucked over there. Why would I play it?
Well,
Yeah.
there was several other problems that cropped up for Forspoken, separate of its gameplay and all that stuff, and that's the which is the exact opposite effect of what happened with Hogwarts Legacy. It's the
Mm-hmm.
everyone pushing it on people and saying, well, if you don't play this game, then you're this, you're that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get people to do what you want by trying to bully them into doing it. It
Right.
just does not work. The same way with Hogwarts Legacy, trying to bully people into not buying it made them buy it. Trying to bully people into buying Forspoken made them critically look at it and say, "Nah, this ain't for me."
Mm-hmm.
And I actually plan on doing a discussion about that duology, not that dynamic between those two games, because they came out not too far apart from each other. One had the social media push for everybody saying, well, if you get behind this and you support these people and these types of people, and you're a great person. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you're trash. And then the opposite for the other game. Well, if you buy this, you're trash. And you hate these types of people. Like, no, maybe I'm just a fan of the franchise. Maybe I just like the game. Maybe I don't care necessarily about the person who made it or, who made the IP that the game is derived from.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
That
I,
individual
that's,
had nothing to do with the game. People
no,
don't.
she had nothing to do with the game. But I also say this about everyone who loves anything dealing with cryptids. Anything dealing with cryptids. I'm forgetting his name now for some reason. But the dude that authored most of them, he was a true big. He hated everyone. He there's so many ways that you could say that supporting any of those characters makes you hateful towards certain groups of people because this one person who created the concepts hated everyone else.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, people like Ford trucks. Did y'all know that Henry Ford was racist?
Oh boy, he was. Ooh boy.
Do people like you like Ford trucks? Did you know that?
That's why I tell people you be careful about what it is you say you want to cancel.
Do
Because
do people know that the people behind Dodge had had some specific prejudices?
Hell, Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
Disney.
That dude was so bad. His whole family act like, nah, we don't talk about him. We don't talk about him. We do
So
not talk
it's
about him.
you can't focus on the person if you're just worrying about the art itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
It,
Because I
it's
think
just
You'll
it's
never
just
like
how it's gonna
anything.
be.
You'll
no,
never
No,
you
like
you
wouldn't.
it
wouldn't.
But that
because
was one
like
of the key things. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying you'll never like anything because everybody has skeletons in their closet. Even the people that love to cancel people, I tell people all the time, put a microscope to their life and see what you find.
Oh yeah.
Put a microscope to
And
their life. And the first thing come out their mouth will be, I was young. You can't
Mhm.
judge me for my past.
Right.
But
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
but they
You can judge
but
me for my past.
you get and that's the problem. That's why it's a vicious cycle. Like, nah, you can't if you want to bring something up from somebody past 15 years ago, what were you saying 15 years ago?
A lot of
Mhm.
people, a lot of people that, especially with the thing going with J.K. Rowling, a lot of
Yeah.
people that are harping on her were probably way worse than her.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I get that people disagree with what she said, but she's also speaking from her perspective. I don't think that she's
Exactly.
as much as harp on me all you want. I don't think she was saying the things that she said from a place of hatred
Correct.
versus a place of defense, where she feels like she's defending her position.
Yeah.
Versus a lot of people think she's trying to come down on someone, where no, she feels like she's defending her position, her rights as a woman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least that's how she explained it. So if that's where her perspective comes from, then wouldn't it be better to come from a perspective of potentially compassion versus anger? If you wanted to, hash things out,
Yeah.
Right.
But that that
maybe.
that requires that requires listening to other people's opinions, and a lot of people don't want to
Mhm.
do that.
True.
Everybody wants to talk about having discourse, but only if you listen to me,
Mhm.
and I don't have to listen to you, and I'm gonna talk over you as soon as you say something, say a point that I don't like. It you can't have a meaningful discussion if you're not willing to listen. If nobody's willing to listen to each other. So that's why, because I've seen people like just straight up, like people just posting their pictures from Hogwarts, and people up under it saying you a bigot for buying that game. Like,
God dang.
what?
Dang.
Wait, what?
And this might have been somebody who had no idea about this whole
Had no
conversation.
idea. I had no idea. So that's one of those situations. I'm like, look, they just playing a game. Like, and on top of that, JK didn't have nothing to do with it. So why are you mad? And how can you don't even know that person? They're just all they did was post screenshots of the game. That's all they did.
Yep.
And people talking about blocking people just for playing the game. I'm like, wow, y'all wilding. Y'all wilding. Because if you doing that, like, what have you been saying? Because I remember when that whole thing with Dave Chappelle happened at Netflix, and then they had that walkout, and then somebody went and started snooping around the person who started the walkout. Well, guess what? That individual, when you saw the laundry list of stuff they was doing, how quickly that stopped. How quick that stopped.
Yeah. I bet moral of the story is like you can't judge. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Because I mean, even when you talk about like artists, they were like, people should be very careful about that whole R. Kelly thing at the time. It was like, you realize you want people to stop listening to his music. Think about all the people he wrote for, or people that you don't even know he wrote for. So that might be your favorite artist he wrote a song for, and then now would you stop listening? Nah, you're not going to.
I mean, he might have actually wrote the catalog for your favorite artists because that's how much work he did.
Yeah, because that's how he got. That's how he made most of his money. I think that's the one thing I did love about the Boondocks. Because that episode where Huey was like, "Look, I know y'all like his music, but that don't change what he did. But you can still listen to the music. But don't act like he a saint because he's not. But you can still listen to the music.
You can separate the two.
You can separate the two.
That's been the thing. People wanted to be like, okay, well, he didn't do it. Like, nah, we all know he did. We know he did. Because that doesn't change the fact that his.
Because they were doing the whole camps. If you had to be on this camp or you were in this camp, you're like, it's not like that.
No, it isn't. Like, we know he did. We know he did what he did. And for that, he's a despicable person. But also, that despicable person just happened to be a brilliant mind when it comes to music.
Yeah. I mean, if you knew half the stuff some of your favorite singers did, especially if they from the 60s, if they from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you may not want to look in their past.
You might not.
You may not want to do that. You may not. Because what's that old saying? Be careful about your heroes.
Oh yeah, you never want to meet your heroes, man.
Yeah, so you're like, hey,
you never want to meet your heroes because they'll always disappoint you.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, it's cool to like, admire somebody's work ethic or something like that, but you don't know them personally. So yeah, because that I've never been a part of the whole celebrity idol worship stuff, so that's never been a thing with me. So yeah, I got like I love Outkast. I don't know them like that. I think they make good music. I like Goody Mob. I think they make great music. I don't know them like that. I just don't.
I'll believe it.
Yeah.
So I think also that a lot of today's version of celebrity worship came from social media, where more social media, you have more contact with their personal lives than you actually should.
Yeah. Right. Which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. So, also talking about stuff that's weird. All right, chat. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all believe the alleged rumor that Soul Calibur 2 is getting remastered for all systems, as well as a few other games from the 6th gen? And do you want them?
That's the question. See what the chat says, though. But I think, to me, straight bias. I need all the 6th gen remastered. I need every PS2, GameCube, Xbox Dreamcast game remastered.
God dang.
And this,
Yes.
but this is why. And this is just me being hypothetical, or going over the top. But if you bring back all of these games, right, remaster them, and then you really look at, let's say, I don't know, let's give both the 8th and the 9th gen, compare them, and you let me know.
All of them 6th gen games gonna blow this stuff out the water.
Blow them out the damn water. So it wouldn't even be on the bias, because you would have the younger crowd that would have the opportunity to really play them. So it's like, okay, you let us know how you feel about them. And if they come out and say, oh, wow, this game is amazing. This came out on that. Yes. And one that we've been covering about the most, Beautiful Joe. That's something that will blow everybody away. But
and these games wasn't no 300 hours plus.
No, they wasn't.
Like your standard RPG was what, between 60 and 100?
Yeah.
So a lot of them was actually between 40 and 60. The vast majority.
Yep.
So and there are some games that I really do want to come back. Soul Calibur 2 is one, especially the GameCube version, because I want Link.
Screw that. I want them to make the complete version and put it on Switch. That's what I want.
That'd be dope. Like, to get all the characters from the PlayStation and the Xbox version and put them on. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean, like I said, I just want Link. But Star Fox Adventures on Dinosaur Planet, Star Fox Assault. Well, we already got the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess wouldn't be hard to do because that's already been got. So
I wouldn't want Wind Waker unless it's done the way we had it.
Yeah, because I need to. I'm not doing. I'm not switching.
That's a big change. That small little tweak made that game
infinitely better. Yeah.
Yes.
God forbid they put Smash Brothers Melee out, but people be.
Oh, you realize how long it took people to let that go?
Yeah.
It took people a minute to let that go. There's some people that still won't let it go, but
they still won't. But like, there are a lot of games, like, and Beautiful Joe is one of them. That's why I wish Capcom would just sell it back to Platinum, because they're not doing nothing with it.
They're not.
They're not going to do nothing with, like, sell it back to Platinum. One of my favorites, Onimusha. The Onimusha series. 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah. Bro,
1, 2, and 3 remastered. Come on, man. The Rise of Kai.
Yep.
That Disney game that was violent as hell.
I just hate
the Mark III and the Rise of Kai.
I just hate that some of the games, like majority of the games that I like, were licensed. So they can't come back.
Especially this one. Skies of Arcadia.
Legends.
The Legends one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, while I feel where you're coming from, because a lot of those games, if you do put them up against stuff out now, dude, 6 gen. Yeah. Because
even some of the I was gonna say, even some of the worst games from 6th gen would be better than a lot of the stuff now.
Yeah, it's just something about the 6th generation where it's like those games, like, you wanted to replay them.
Yep. I mean, even something very simple like that Sega did with Bobby Hatcher, that was a very simplistic.
Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher, there you go, Billy Hatcher. On the Dreamcast, the Grinch, that game, kind of like a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Soul Reaver,
Legacy K,
like those games were
Soul Reaver and Blood Omen.
Yep, there you go. I don't know. Like, this is outside of the 6, but I think they did a PS2 version of it. Was Bloody Roar?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was a few games.
It was on PS2 and it was on GameCube.
Yeah, because Primal Fury was on GameCube, and I forgot which version was on PS2.
Right. Well, we will not ever speak of that game.
Why?
Yeah, we will not speak of it. Yes, Zero said Bobby Hatcher. It sounds like a murder. Bobby Hatcher.
Bobby Hatchet. Oh, Joe, no.
Yeah. The disappointment as a child when that game got picked up. because there was nothing left. I will say there was nothing left in movie gallery that day, and for me to even convince my grandfather to take me was already a mission in itself. So you can't go in there and say, "Oh, I'm not getting anything." So
Nope.
you got to pick something. And I'm going through, and it's like the games I want are already checked out. So it's like, all right, cool. Let me see. Like Street Fighter, the movie. Okay, let's go with it. As soon as I jumped on it, and I literally had to stomach it, as like my grandfather watched me, and I'm just like, this is about to be a long ass 3 days. Like
He watched you.
he watched me. So he wanted me because he was like, I just spent $5. You better.
You better. You better not. You. It's all you playing.
This all you playing this weekend.
That's
Get
it.
used to it.
And I had to thug that out. Like the moment that Sunday came out, I was like, oh, can we go like right now? Take it back? Like, can we go right now? Shit, yeah, I hate the game.
But yeah, I did read somewhere else that allegedly there's an F-Zero remake.
Yeah.
Look, the smart move with F-Zero wouldn't even be a remix of the games. Would just be do an engine and throw all of the levels in.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Just Mario Kart into hell.
There you go.
But we finna find out. We finna find out who all was like, oh, they just need to bring this back. We finna find out.
You know
Like
what?
that's true. Metroid.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know what would be interesting though? The Switch was the resurgence more or less of the Wii U. Of people saying, oh, we don't want the Wii U, but then they bought all the games. As we can see, the top selling game right now is a Wii U game in a way. Now, with the predecessor coming up, that one being the resurgence of the GameCube that didn't sell either. So now they bring those games back and then like, hey, this is the shit y'all didn't buy for the older crowd, of course, because the younger crowd they wasn't here. But
they didn't know anything.
Right.
Look, we can't blame them.
Right. Well, we can blame these old heads that are still out here and say like, okay, look, you didn't buy this. You shitted on this, especially from the media standpoint. IGN, like you really shitted on this. So now that we remade these games, once when we remove the console from it and the PS2 hype with the DVD players out the way, and then Xbox being the very first Microsoft console comes in, let's see if you really dislike these games.
I mean, we seeing it with Metroid Prime. With Metroid Prime Remastered, we seeing it. People are like, this game came out on GameCube. Why didn't I know about this? I'm like, they marketed it. Y'all was listening to everybody else.
Like my first thing would have been, does anybody remember the purple lunchbox?
Yeah, remember that?
Or the black one, or the orange one.
Or the orange one, or the platinum one, or the green one. Because there was a green one.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate that they don't do no more. Man.
Yeah, the
64 and the GameCube.
Multiple colors for consoles.
Yeah, because I used to love the transparent N64s.
N64.
That was the way to go.
Yeah,
that purple one.
I had the black one and I had a purple one. Because I bought one for my brother. So I gave my brother the purple one. I had the black one.
So I mean, are we looking at with this? Let's say the predecessor is bringing and ushering back in the GameCube with the remakes because they're kind of looking at, hey, these consoles didn't sell well, so let's see if it's the games or if it was the console. Do we get a Pro controller that's kind of like a GameCube modern day mix kind of thing? Because I mean, Power 8 kind of already does it to where they kind of modernized the GameCube controller, but when you look at the layout just doesn't fit most games. Right now, when you talk about that big ass A button and everything else around it.
Yeah, everything else around it. Yeah, I think you can get away with doing that. But the thing is, they're already selling the GameCube controllers, so that's why I was like, I never understood. And then they won't tell you what all the GameCube controllers work with. That's the other thing that be pissing me off with Nintendo. Like, tell me what all the GameCube controllers work with, because apparently you can play with a bunch of games if you wanted to.
My guess is they probably didn't test it. And probably was like, hey, if it works, cool.
like they to the developer, like, hey, if you want them to use it, they can use it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Metroid Prime remaster. Like, hey, I mean, we still sell them, so if they want to use it, they can use it. Bet. That's pretty much what that was. So, yeah,
I don't know. I love it though.
Yeah, I would love to see Skies of Arcadia come back and Legends,
Mhm.
the Legends version, of course, and um, Star Fox Adventures on Dinosaur Planet. If we're
Yeah,
gonna do that,
do this and then take your time with the new stuff because apparently most of these companies are struggling right now. Like
well,
try like remake these and see if it sparks some energy and get like some you can get some writers block
well,
out the way.
well, the other thing too is everything don't have to be 300 hours,
They
and
really
everything
don't.
don't have to be upwards of 100 $75 million to make. You
Who
know,
started this crap though? Because I'm trying to sit back and think like who started this?
this
Grand
started with
Theft Auto.
yeah, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
HD and when HD came in, because a lot
Right.
of that stuff just caught because a lot of people don't understand this, but like if you get like an established A-list actor or B-list actor to come in, you got to pay them their rate.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into that as well, as far as that payment. So
What else kind
so
of really started? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, but you do that, and then you got all this. You're trying to run this new engine that it's taking forever to make this game because we didn't have to do multiple delays, which just drags it out. Which means you got to put more money into it because we don't have an established engine that works. And you're like, dude, find the engine
Mm-hmm.
that works. I mean, prime example, Legend of Zelda. They did Skyward Sword and that engine, and they've been using it for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They found the Wind Waker one. They used it for Phantom of Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. They found engines and just like, okay, this engine works. We're gonna use it for 2-3 more. We're gonna use it for a couple more games,
Right.
and we'll work on something else later.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. But at this point, I will say what I will be satisfied with as the first game in Nintendo. Like, pay attention. Give me Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. Give me that. Give me
Oh
that.
yeah, because people been begging for that one. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's
games I want.
still that's still unmatched.
All the games I want, they ain't gonna happen. The
Which ones you
Avalanche
want?
or 1080 Avalanche.
1080. Oh yeah,
But
It ain't
they
gonna
could
happen.
though, because that's not a license issue.
yeah.
No, it's
That's
not.
theirs, ain't it? That one in
Yeah.
Jet Ski.
Yeah,
The
because
Jet
they
Ski
went
game.
with. I don't think they went with
Wave
Hilfiger.
race.
Yeah, Wave Race maybe because of Is it Kawasaki? Not
Yeah,
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki.
Who does all the? Yeah, Kawasaki. Okay,
Use
and I
Kawasaki.
don't think they did the. They didn't do the other one with Tommy Hilfiger that time, did they?
I don't
'Cause I
think
No.
know
so.
the first one was with Tommy, but I don't think the second one was. So they don't really have to worry about that.
So 1080 would be one they can actually do then. Well,
Mhm.
Avalanche.
Make them up. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to have name brands because I guarantee you, most people that's playing it don't know what they are any damn way.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
don't.
Right.
so make a difference. Grand Theft Auto does
Right.
it all the time. You see a card like, oh, I know what that is, and it has some random ass name on it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, or the back just look different.
yeah,
They put a whole Corvette front on it and got a Ford back, and you be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Because I think what got Grand Theft Auto was that with those music licenses for like Vice City and
San Andreas.
yeah,
Oh,
and San
San
Andreas, they
definitely.
had to pay
Yeah,
for all that music. That's why
yeah,
their price went up.
yeah. Well, side note too, I didn't. This is probably another reason why I went up too. But the seventh generation was kind of the start of let's turn video games into whole movies. Trying to make them all action and the cutscenes, and let's angle it this way.
Tons of QTEs.
Yeah, that was
And boy, Square Enix nailed into that a little bit too much.
Yeah, they started and you know, and that really started the whole let's attach QuickTime events to cutscenes. So
oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Cause Shen, I
you
remember them doing
you
it.
put your controller down for 2 seconds for a cutscene and then a prompt pops up.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I forgot how nuts that was in that
Seventh generation,
era.
man. I won't say messed everything up, but definitely didn't help the industry in multiple
really
different
No, it did
ways.
not.
And then when you had like, I love Microsoft, but they were just handing out blank checks. And,
Mhm.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
and third party's like, oh, y'all give us how much?
Right.
Whatever we want. Okay.
Okay, all right, cool. Bet.
one thing that I didn't get to do because I just got preoccupied for a second there was just to rattle off a few of my favorite 6th gen games that nobody really talks about.
Okay.
So one, Zombies Revenge. That game gets no love.
Yeah.
It
Oh yeah.
deserves love, but it gets no love. It deserves some love for being a House of the Dead spinoff.
Right.
It deserves some love. Look, that's the one that led to the ideas for House of the Dead Overkill.
Right.
I can tell you that right now. Then there's Draconis, Cult of the Lamb. That does not get enough love. That's the
That game was
action,
fun.
RPG game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That game,
that was
yeah,
fun.
Mm-hmm.
that game gets barely any attention. Another one, Crimson Ox, which was like a on rails first person shooter. Love that game. Want to see that come back. Illbleed, which was a
Mhm.
weird take on a horror game, but it was fun. And plus, there's a potential chance where you get to a point where you can play with a character without their brain in, which actually was interesting. Um, Carrier, which was a bootleg Resident Evil on a ship. Then we gotta go into all of the Hunter games. Those I want to see that as a
Oh yeah.
collection just come out.
Well,
All
do
of them.
you talk even with Wayward and Redeemer on it?
Yes,
Okay.
gotta give me the full because it's a complete story. So you gotta give me the full
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah, because then when was Wayward the prequel or was because Redeemer was in the future?
Yeah, I think Wayward was the prequel to The Reckoning, which was the first game.
Yeah.
And then Redeemer was the final game where the girl that you saved in The Reckoning became a playable character.
Yeah.
Mm.
Those were fun games. The Hunter series was a fun series. I didn't play Wayward. I did play Reckoning and Redeemer though. I
Yeah, I
enjoyed
never
Reckoning.
played Wayward either. I never got to play Wayward because I think that one was strictly on Xbox.
No, that was for PS2. Redeemer was
Oh yeah,
strictly for Xbox. Because I
yeah,
think that was the one where Xbox just did the money for it.
Mm.
yep. And they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
They really shouldn't have.
because it should have
So
came to everything. All three of them should have came everywhere. But that's when we first started getting Sony trying to keep up with the Joneses as far as like, oh well, we're a big conglomerate. We can match Microsoft money for money too. They're like, no,
No,
you
you
can't.
couldn't.
No, you can't.
mhm.
And Microsoft proved it, and Sony started hemorrhaging money because they were
And
trying
the
to keep
best
up.
version and the best version of Hunter the Reckoning is the one on GameCube. I don't care what
Yeah,
anybody
it
says. It's
is.
the GameCube one. It ran the best
Yeah,
and it felt the best.
it ran
That was the best
smoother.
version of that game.
It ran smoother than the Xbox version. I can attest to that because I had both versions, so it did run way smoother. All right, Trinell, I would want X-Men versus Street Fighter. I don't know. I don't care for the first Marvel vs. Capcom game, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Mm.
X-Men vs.
I,
Street Fighter just because Storm on X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
She's a beast.
Yeah, yeah,
She's a beast.
she is a straight up
See,
beast.
but this is why I would want a full collection starting from the first game technically for that series, which was X-Men Children of the Atom.
Yeah,
So
Children of
people
Adam.
can see how the characters evolved along the way when they were
right.
put in multiple games. Because Storm in X-Men Children of the Atom, you think she was a beast in X-Men versus Street Fighter? Think of when they didn't give her a power cap in
Yeah,
X-Men.
I'm telling you, like I said, between like, cause even when you talk about Zombie Revenge, talking about Marvel vs. Capcom, like these
Power
games,
Stone.
Power Stone, like you show these games along with what One Up Arcade's been doing. The resurgence of these arcade games or arcade
Mhm.
style games could make a comeback, and especially when you talk about something like the Switch, to where we can get back to these Zapper games. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like
The light gun games.
Time,
light gun
Time
games.
Crisis.
Yeah, like you can do that. Like, granted, all as much as I advocate for it, everybody can't play in VR, and they have time crisis games in there, like Crisis Brigade, I think it's called. But still, I mean, when you have the Switch and having two Joy Cons and possibly having the accessories for them and have those light gun games, yeah, I mean,
Right,
and
right.
then I mean, well, for me, like I said, I love controllers, and when you talk about fight sticks, like we're kind of dwindling on the fighters. So when you start talking about bringing games like this back, that'd be a resurgence for those too. I mean, it's just that's the one thing I loved about the Dreamcast because it was like I went to the arcade, but it was in my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
I hear-
the same board in the Dreamcast was
Yeah.
the one that they were using in arcade.
Right.
I hear all y'all talking, but ain't none of y'all said the game that need to come back as a franchise, as a series.
Let me think if
Baby.
I'm thinking what you thinking. What is it?
Bloody Roar, baby.
Is that the one
You
I'm
already
thinking?
said that.
He already said
You
that.
actually already said that.
Okay. Then I came late.
You want to know what? You want to know which one that nobody ever talks about, but had the best commercials of all time? Ready to Rumble.
Ready to rumble.
Oh yeah,
Afro Man.
Afro Thunder.
Afro Thunder.
Just to how they would work that game now because I went back to play it and I got my ass whooped. I don't know if it was just a matter of me not playing it for a while
Yeah,
or
that's
just,
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what happened when
Because
I went back and played 2. When I went back and played 2, I got manhandled until I
demolished.
got my groove back. So you would have to probably like update the controls a little bit.
Yeah,
for
you
that.
had to.
Because that was very much a game that was a part of that era. So you would have to like
that was also Midway too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one that I miss, Gauntlet.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's the other one I was really gonna say.
Yeah.
Gauntlet, definitely.
Gauntlet.
I do miss.
I
those
mean,
Star
you
Wars
can
games.
they did do a remaster for Gauntlet, but I think it only came out on PC.
Yeah, it only came to PC because I played Seven Sorrows and Seven Sorrows just didn't have the same feel. It just
And
didn't.
think of the fact that most of these games were made during that era were 4-player multiplayer.
Yep.
And then you can throw online on all of those games now.
Now, yeah. Now that's what I'm like. If they
Ooh.
wanted to, because the N64 had their version of Gauntlet Legends was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I would
Between that and the Dreamcast version were the best too.
Because the Dreamcast version had the desert world that wasn't on the N64 or the PS1. So
I'm sorry. In that regard, Sony got the worst version of that game.
Really, Zen? Really, Zero?
Because it was only 2 players, and then on top of that, what do you say? Let me see this. Oh yeah, that's right.
My man.
Oh hell no, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Yeah,
that was not. We all know the only reason he got that gun is because he was black. That's the only reason.
when they explain as into why that happened, I'm like, okay, there's a limit to when you listen to fans and when you don't listen to fans.
Right.
And it was like, oh, they want games with guns in them, so we're gonna give it to Shadow. We can't give it to Sonic. I'm like,
nope.
What? Yeah. You don't even make that type of game. Come on now.
And he just happened to be the black hedgehog.
Hey, look, it is
what
it is.
Nightwolf, he was in the Dreamcast version on 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I never played anything outside of Dreamcast. I didn't play the 64 version.
He was also in the.
He wasn't on the 64 version, I don't think.
Nah, I think he was, but they had a character.
Was he like a hard to get? Because I can't remember.
Yeah, he was the absolute.
You talking about Michael Jackson and Ready to Rumble?
Yeah. I know he was on the second one.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, yeah, he was in the second game.
The first one. Yeah,
he was not in the first game. He was in the second game, and he was unlockable.
Yeah,
because he had that one glittering glove.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and every one of his attacks was damn near unavoidable.
Yeah, every last one of them. You got hit, you just got hit.
I miss that stuff, man. I mean, and then even when you talk about the sports games from the arcade side of things, that was gold at the time.
You know what? Y'all know one game I realized nobody said anything about.
Which one?
Dynamite Cop.
Who?
I don't think I played that. Dynamite Cop?
Dynamite Cop. Look at
it. Dynamite Cop. Okay.
I don't think I played that.
Yeah.
I don't think I played that.
Yeah.
I played the Time Crisis games, but I didn't play Dynamite Cop.
Yeah, Dynamite Cop. The only reason why I've played that is because I played that on emulator. I never had the game because I played it on emulator. But yeah, Dynamite Cop for sure. And then also like the D games, like the D2, D3 games too. Those were decent. I'm not gonna say they were the greatest because people were like, "Oh, this is a fantastic game." Like, well,
yeah.
yeah. And
Now
then I see. Okay.
I do remember the Terminator games, the light gun games that they had. I don't know how that would work nowadays without, because it wouldn't feel right without like a actual accessory.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to accessorize a lot of this, and people gonna get back to the house of plastic after a while because
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
For some of this stuff, yeah.
Jobo, Legend of Dragoon. Okay, remake, yes, because I don't know how they messed this up because it runs like trash on the PlayStation, like the classic one you can buy.
Uh-huh.
And then they also have it on the premium version, like you can get Legend. It runs awful. It's buggy as hell. But then again, it doesn't surprise me because as much as people try to do their fanboy comparisons of like, oh, PlayStation Plus has this and Game Pass only has this. When you see Xbox's old school games that they redo, not only are they upscaled, but they run great.
Yeah, they run better.
I don't know about anybody else. Any PS2 or PS1 game I've played thus far runs like trash. Like Warriors runs bad. Legend of Dragon runs bad. I don't know. Like it's like Sony was like, "Hey, here it is," and they don't even try it. It's
Because didn't we have this discussion just last night? Because you can't just take code from one machine and throw it on another, even if that machine is better.
Yeah.
But and I wanted to answer RJH real quick. Yes, Dynamite Cop was supposed to be a Die Hard game, but they couldn't get the licensing for it. That's why the characters, everybody's changed up from what they would have been.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, the Zelda Killer games. Yeah, the Zelda Killer games.
Right. Now, I would say I only like Dark Cloud 2. I didn't like the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, their Crisis Brigade 2 just released. But yeah, I mean they're amazing games. I mean, it's one of those things of they throw you into the certain scenario, you start shooting, doing your thing, and then you have to shoot certain icons to get the different weapons, whether you get a rifle, semi-machine gun, and then when you clear the area out, you kind of pick your path. So like you'll shoot what path you want to go on, and that will determine that you'll have a group with you, but they can die. And so you always come down to the end to like a final boss, and then you'll get your like who has the high score. So I mean they work amazing on VR for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout outs to Welton for Die Hard Arcade, my man.
Die Hard. Did I play that?
It was a light gun game.
Yeah, light.
Oh, okay.
It was a light gun game. All right. So before we get out of here, let's. I did a video for I Got Mine on Thursday. You guys can check it out. We just went through the eShop, the Wii U eShop, because it is closing March 27th. So you got a few more days before it closes.
Closing. Oh my gosh, I didn't even have time to go and buy those games.
Yeah, you only had a year and a half. But
I wish somebody would have told me about it.
Yeah,
man. I didn't know this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we need to boycott. Anyway,
that's anti-consumer. They didn't even say anything.
Yeah, but I did do a video, and we went through a lot of the actual eShop. There's a lot of stuff on sale, and there's some stuff that ain't on sale. So I'm telling you right now, if you still got your Wii U or you were able to find one, Xenoblade Chronicles X is still $59.
The fact that game's $59 will tell you everything you need to know.
Mario Kart 8 is still $59.
You better still pick it up though. You better still pick up Xenoblade Chronicles X though.
What was the other one, Andre? That was still $59. Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Smash Brothers.
Mario Kart was still $59. Xenoblade was still $59. Now, Wonderful 101, there was like 19. There was a few of them that were 19. But
I've seen that spike up too.
Yeah. So, but if you go get them digitally, they are, because there's some games in there that they say are not retail; they're digital only. So, if you have a chance, go
to the North Star too.
Yeah, go look, because there's a lot of good deals on there. There really is a lot of good deals because they know it's about to close. So,
That's
but there's some
right.
stuff ain't. nah, you paying for this.
Yep.
Nah.
Ain't no way in hell.
All
Ain't
them
no
people
way.
was asking for Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Switch. Guess what? Yo, Axton, turn that back into 59.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because that game was lower. But then when people was like, oh, where's X? Where's X? Oh, that's what y'all want. Okay, go ahead and raise that back on up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if they
Well,
really want it.
yeah. We're gonna see. But yeah, you can get like there's a lot of good deals. So if you have a chance, please go by there because I already know what's gonna happen. March 28th. All we're gonna do is hear complaining. That's all we're gonna do is hear complaining. So I'm gonna ignore it. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna mute that comes
The same
March
when we
28th.
did the 3D All Star World. People complain. That game sat in GameStop for God knows how long. Then it even got down to like $30 at one point in time. And they still didn't go buy the damn game. Now it's like $100, $200. And people's like, oh my gosh, Nintendo, you could have made millions off of it. I'm like, shut up. Like, you don't care what they make. You really don't.
Yeah,
Right.
because if you were going to get it, you would have got it already.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about it. Because they let you know a year and a half in advance. So it
I
is
was
what
trying
it is.
it was when people blowing up his phone talking about they want a discount, Andre.
Exactly.
You better speak the future, Andre. Speak the future right now before March 22nd, so I can get my discount on my Xenoblade Chronicles X.
And Wilton, yes, Tekken Tag on Wii U is awesome. It is.
Yeah, it is.
I'm curious as to how that game did for Namco. For the would we ever see another Tekken Tag?
We would, but you got to get Jim Ryan out of out of Namco offices.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Got to get Sony out of their offices. We probably would. So, and Splinter Cell is amazing on the Wii U. That game, the way they use a lot of those gamepad games that actually took advantage. Those games like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Splinter Cell, what's another
Batman?
one?
Yeah, Batman did it too.
Yeah, Batman. The Batman Arkham games that's on there. Dude, they run
PSX.
Yeah, they are great. Matter of fact, they're so good you're gonna get mad that people hated the Wii U because like, dude, this is what they was working on. Yes.
This is what we could have had. This could have been the next week for gaming. And y'all screwed it up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Because IGN and other game trailers wanted to be in certain companies' pockets. I'm like,
I'm telling you.
It's annoying. It's annoying when you sit up and think about it because you're like, dude, could have been. You never would have had to stop the game.
Never. Nope.
All you had to do was just look over to the side.
Right.
Like, no, look over to the side, do your map stuff. Zombie U on Wii U. That game was a freaking life send.
That's why the zombie version didn't do crap.
Yeah. Because after all that trash that people was talking, when they realized that, wait a minute, this wasn't made to be a fun and gun. It was made to be a survival horror. And they had tank controls, but that's the best way to get you in the atmosphere of the game.
Now imagine this, because we all know Sony likes to copy. Wii U pops off, and then for people that love Last of Us, you now have Last of Us with that control layout to where it's like Zombie U.
Yeah. Oh, that game would have you really would have been annoyed with all the accolades we were gonna get after that.
Right.
You really would have been annoyed.
Like I said, I'm not saying that Last of Us is a bad game or that it needs anything different. It's just sometimes things can still be better when you look at them, for what they could have been.
Yeah.
And that game could have been like top notch. You looking down at that screen trying to get your stuff together and wrap your arm up or put something together while people are running around or clickers are running around or even having something to scan for these clickers. Like, you could have done a lot of things with Last of Us with that concept.
Yeah, because I can just imagine just basically like you hiding in there actually putting together upgrade to your weapon.
Right.
Yeah, so much potential in that. There's so much. And y'all already know I miss the Miiverse so much.
Yeah, that would have been nice to return, but
I miss the Miiverse. That's the only thing I want them to bring back. Like, dude, I get it and I don't hate Nintendo for basically doing what they did with the Switch. But the only thing I did want them to do was bring back that Miiverse. That Miiverse should have never went away.
Mm-hmm.
Just because some people wanted Facebook and Twitter. You can go to Facebook and Twitter if you want to, but you ain't got to get rid of the Miiverse to do that. So
right.
You look at it now. I mean, most people don't use those platforms for gaming anyway. Like,
yeah.
So, like, if you look at it now, Discord and maybe Twitch, but that's something totally different.
Yeah, and
call from Karina Jackson.
Yeah, hey, somebody get a call. So, all right, people. So we hit the hour mark. Y'all know how I like to do. Get you guys in and out. So, don't forget we are supporting the BIPOC Streamer Awards. So please look in the description. If you have not had a chance to go and nominate anybody, please do so. You have until March 31st to get your nominations in, please. So we got to show some support and some love. So please do that. Click on the link in the description. Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
Nominate your boy. Nominate me. Whatever it is, nominate your boy. I don't even care if I even exist in that category. Nominate
crafting. Nominate crocheting.
You know what I'm saying? I crochet everything. I crochet air. I crochet water. Everything. I crochet all. Yeah.
Water.
I'll be putting 2 needles next to the water and do this.
All right.
Yeah,
like,
everything.
Everything. Like this? It's subscribe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
We had the Stormcast yesterday. We talked about backwards compatibility and a bunch of other things. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do so for that. Tomorrow we have the Jill podcast, so that's probably going to happen. I think that's pretty much it. We don't really have anything. Make sure you check out the Stormcast coming Saturday. I'm sure we're going to be doing something fun. Make sure you follow everybody here on the Wingin' It podcast. Jay, Jack, Andre, Shadow, Vicky, of course. And follow Trey Vito as well. Other than that, that's it.
All right, Jack.
Yeah, so the video for the PSVR 2, kind of giving my overview of it, has been up for like a week or two right now. So go check that out. I definitely am getting ready to do a video about some potential games that I feel like Sony could do to push this a little bit forward and kind of really take VR to that next level. Something that, Valve is not trying to do, something that Quest doesn't have the ability to do, or Meta, excuse me, doesn't have the ability to do. And then like HP and all the other companies like Pico that are in the VR space, they're not close to what Sony can do with games. So I just wanted to give like an idea of the IPs that they own and what they could do in VR. So doing that, and then just looking forward to doing a little bit more videos in regards to that VR in general. Once I finally wrap this album up, it should be. I want to say it'll be done by this week. If I'm hard headed enough and not getting enough sleep, I can finish it this week. So man, it can be wrapped up. Sandstorm almost made me add some more after yesterday, but I was like, no, I can't do this. So I'm already like 14, 15 songs in. I got to chop this up. So it should be wrapping up, and then I'll release a date one of these days whenever I feel it's done. But yeah,
all right.
That's it.
All right, Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
I mean, I'm actually right now still working on the upcoming 10-year anniversary of my channel. So that on top of adult life, just being in my way normally. But I got videos planned. I just got to get them out. I have a bunch of stuff recorded. I just haven't released yet. So be on the lookout for that this week. You'll probably get inundated with like 15 videos.
All right. All right, cool.
That was about right.
Yeah. All right, so this coming week I am actually off from work, so I'm going to be doing some streaming pretty much every day. I'm working on getting me a little schedule together to let y'all know. First things first, probably going to be Let's Do This Quietly tomorrow for Bayonetta Origins. I'm going to do that one. and then we'll just go from there. May jump back on Time Splitters 3 Future Perfect just because I love that game. But yeah, it should be a pretty good week. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to everyone as well, and check out that the Stormcast from last night. We had a good time on there as well. So with that being said, we will catch you guys next week. Y'all be safe out there, and catch you later. Peace out, people.
Peace out, everybody.